How'd you keep warm?
I don't know. Well, I guess we had quilts. Mother made quilts and comforts and things like that. Of course, keep them warm, if you mean, we had a big, great big, I suppose, fireplace, that long, big rock chimney on the outside, big, huge stone, that big square, built clear up above the roof of the house. Had a rock, solid rock, and of course then had this fireplace here, and this was built, we called it a back wall. And the back wall sometimes would break out, and they'd just go and get flagstones and build a back wall back there. And then when I was smaller, of course, Dad would bring in what we called a backlog. It'd be full length of the fireplace, and oh, that big, high. He'd bring in that backlog, put it in the back. Then there was room in the front for a fire in front of that backlog. And he'd build a fire up against the backlog. And then he'd put another little smaller log on top of the backlog. Well, he'd build a fire, and then of course he'd build a fire, and then we'd have a 4-log. And it was a smaller log, and we had a fat kind of a square stone we just picked up out there anywhere, one here and one there, for the 4-log to lay on. Bring it up so current could get under it. That'd take the smoke out the chimney. And the chimney would draw and take the smoke out.
But did your mother cook on the fireplace, or did she have a stove?
Brother. That's all the way we had to cook almost for a while. We had a big Dutch oven, that big around. It stood up on feet, probably half as long as your finger, and had a lid on it, if you know what a Dutch oven is. And anyway, Mother would make her corn batter, and then she'd pull some, this was for supper, she'd pull some coals out here, pretty good bunch of hot coals out from under that fireplace up there. And she'd set the Dutch oven on that, on those coals, and then she'd put the lid on it. She had her batter in the oven. Then she'd put the lid on it. Then she'd pull out more coals and cover it up. I don't know how long it'd take it to bake, but we'd have a good pone after a while for supper. And then we'd eat bread and milk for supper. That'd be our supper many times. And then she would make her, and this was made before the fire, she'd take an iron pot and pull out some coals and fill the pot up so far with milk. And she'd get that milk just steamed till the steam be coming off of it. And then she'd stir in flour and make what we call thickened milk. And when it got to probably about like pudding or something like that, that's what it really amounted to. But we called it thickened milk, and we loved it. And then she'd take that out and put it on her plate, and we'd eat it with a spoon. That'd be our supper when we was young growing up. And we used the fireplace plenty for cooking. And of course, she boiled stuff. In the wintertime, she'd make 20-gallon iron kettle, not full, but that's what she'd make hominy, and she'd make a kettle of hominy. That was when we was going to school. And that's a long story, of course. She had to take choice corn, white corn, and take the hull off of it with lye, that ash lye, and then the washing and all to get it to the hominy stage, cook it. Plenty of cooking on the fireplace. We had an iron stove, a step stove. Of course, it was filled with wood here, and there's 2 holes here to cook on, and then there's a step up and another place, 2 more holes up here, called a step stove. That was the first stove we had. But of course, it was in the kitchen, and the pipe ran out, and I suppose out the side because we didn't have any flue in the kitchen at that time, probably run into the chimney, I imagine. I don't just remember about that. But there's a chimney on the other end too. It was It was mud and stick. After you got up above the shoulder of fireplace, then it was take sticks and build it, put mud on the sticks and more sticks. Kind of a dangerous thing after it got dry and the mud would fall off of it, you know, and danger of fire. We never had any trouble because we didn't use that so much in the fireplace, only in a small way.